week we are here with our co-host, interviewing him on his experience at Warrior Rising. So, James Legier, this is going to be all about you and Warrior Rising. Welcome to our show.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, James. That way, just folks
I do stuff. I got invited to go and attend this event with Warrior Rising. So go back to the beginning. So for those who are interested, Warrior Rising is a veteran-owned nonprofit. They help veterans who are starting their own business or who already have their own business basically just get better at this whole small business thing. They have modules that you will complete, and they have classes that you will attend virtually. And as you complete those modules and those classes, you sign up to be invited to one of their business showers. They do about 4 or 5 a year. At those business showers, you will pitch your business to a panel of judges, and the winner usually gets a grant of up to about $20,000.
Can anybody go on there and start doing the modules, or is it like an invite only, like someone has to find you and bring you into it?
No, if you go to their website, warriorrising.org, you will see on there the sign up for the modules, and veterans, active duty, military, they even extend it out to some family members of veterans on occasion. So
you got to complete all the modules and then you can apply to see if they'll select you to come to a shower?
Yep. And if they don't select you for... Sorry. Go ahead.
How much did this cost for those
Free.
that don't know anything
Absolutely
about
free.
Warrior Rising?
Absolutely free. You sign up for the modules. Modules are free. Once you complete those, you will do, I believe it's Warrior University. They changed the name recently, and that's where it's a lot more in depth. You have an actual kind of live session with a member of Warrior Rising who will walk you through things. He'll ask you questions, and that's when they really start to dive deep into your pitch itself. How to tell your story, how to make your brand, more recognizable, things like that. And there's usually, I think when I went through, there was like 20 or 30 veterans in those, and then you apply, and they select. It's usually 10, sometimes a little bit less for the actual pitch competition.
How is it that you learned about Warrior Rising, for those that don't know?
I learned about Warrior Rising from Frank Mantel of Crayons Ready to Eat. When he came out to the shop last year to see everything that I was doing, he had hinted at Warrior Rising that first visit, and 2 or 3 weeks later on a call, he basically said, hey, go here, do these modules, do everything that you're supposed to do. I've already showed your stuff to Jason Van Camp, the founder of Warrior Rising, and he wants you to attend the business shower, so go quick so that we can get you into these. So it just happened by chance, which still blows my mind.
Can you kind of walk everyone through just how tight was that timeline? So normally people kind of can go at their own pace with this, so kind of from the time that you found out about Warrior Rising, and Frank really wanted to get you involved until you showed up in Detroit, what was that experience and what was that timeline? What did it look like?
So the timeline was just under a year. Yeah, the timeline was just under a year. It's all, the modules and everything are all self-paced. So the quicker you get them done, the quicker you can go to an event. And when I had initially talked to Jason, the plan was for their Salt Lake City business shower that's coming up in November. So I knew I had plenty of time to get this stuff done. And when was it? July? Yeah, July of this year, the end of July. He sent me an email and said, hey, how does Detroit in September sound for your business shower instead? And I was like, wow, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Like, let's go ahead and get this ball rolling and get all this stuff done. And then I realized the amount of things that I would have to do between the end of July and really the start of September.
Had you started any of your modules yet?
I'd started all the modules. Ash and I had gone out to the UK in June, and while we were in the UK, my laptop died. So I lost all progress, all of my notes for the modules I had done so far. So I restarted at the end of July, raced through all of them, got all caught up. sat down with Frank and started working on the pitch. And about 3 days later, I emailed him, my first draft of the pitch. And he was like, "You're already done?" I was like, "Oh, I think I'm already done." You tell me if I'm done. So between the initial email going out of August 3rd and the actual event September 20th, I adjusted my pitch probably 20 times. When you show up to the event, you have a 15-minute window to pitch. They want you to keep it around about 10 to 11 minutes so the judges have time to ask any questions. And the very first pitch test I did was 17 and a half minutes long. By the time I showed up to the event, I think during the competition, my pitch was like 10 minutes and 25 seconds long. A lot of that was just me figuring out how to tell the story without speaking so much. And a lot of it was just figuring out what slides are really necessary in something like this and what slides can just be taken out. And I was very lucky in my position because it's just me doing the business. I don't have to talk about a team or anything like that. I don't have to talk about other members who are officially with the business. It's just me, which saves 3 or 4 minutes in a pitch. Let's see, I'm trying to think. So one of the biggest things for anybody who is interested in going through this process, this is a pitch competition, but you will find out as soon as you show up to this event, you don't have competitors. Those other 9 people that you're pitching against are not competitors. Like, everybody is in everybody's corner, everybody's cheering everyone on. You leave there with something. Every attendee will leave there with some sort of I don't want to say financial, like you will get money when you go to this event. They do fundraising stuff at the event specifically to divvy up amongst the finalists. It's just first place gets that guaranteed grant.
And for those that
However,
don't know,
go ahead.
But for those that don't know, can you just actually go and tell a little bit about what it is that you do? What is your business?
I am a non-traditional ring maker. It started out as a wood shop, and then very quickly in the beginning I realized that most people don't want to spend $2,000 on a table to get shipped from Hawaii when the table didn't even cost that much. So I had to adjust fire and find something new to do, and that's when rings came up. And it started with whiskey barrel stave rings, and it eventually turned into rings with material from sports stadiums around the world. And then thanks to a couple of veteran friends of mine reaching out to me, it eventually we added on what I've been calling the Valor Collection, which is sand from Omaha Beach and Iwo Jima Beach and Afghanistan and Iraq. So that's when things really started to take off. That's when Frank took notice of me, and when Jason and the guys at Warrior Rising saw what I was doing, they really leaned into those specific battlefield sand type rings that I had been working on.
So in addition to the actual pitch competition, can you tell us a little bit about some of the other things that were going on there? Events like this are usually pretty big in terms of the people that you're able to network with, the people that have done this before. What was your experience with that?
So the pitch competition is great. It's an awesome way to get you out there to get comfortable with talking about your business on stage. However, the networking is way more important than the actual pitch competition. It is so much more beneficial for your business long term. And the way Warrior Rising sets it up, they're very intentional with how they get these veterans to interact with these organizations, especially ones who don't have experience networking. So first night, you show up, you get to go to a dinner with everybody, kind of, loosen everything up, get everyone comfortable with one another. And that's really when your networking starts, because some of the individuals are Warrior Rising employees, others are individuals that were invited by Warrior Rising to attend the event. So we do that the first night, grab dinner, go back to the hotel, hang out, continue networking and talking. And there's individuals there from all walks of life. You've got larger banks there, you've got motivational speakers there, you've got Medal of Honor recipients there. I didn't know what to expect when I showed up, and I did not anticipate any of that happening, especially the first night. they usually partner with an organization, a local organization, for like kind of a visitation day. So because we were in Detroit, we went over to GM, got to test drive some of their new vehicles that are coming out. I'll tell you this, we did some drag strip things in the new like Hummer EV, and every single person who got out of that Hummer immediately took their phone out and was like, what is my bank account looking like right now? Can I afford this? Because it was wild. It was crazy. So just sitting down with an organization like that, you know, I'd been talking to a couple people and they said, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if like when these teams for GM finish a project, you know, they've got all this scrap metal that they didn't use or that they partially used for the car. Wouldn't it be cool if you took that scrap metal and made a piece for every engineer on the team as like a, hey, this is something that you did that's out there in the world now. This is a piece of your vehicle that's out there in the world. So I went up to one of the GM guys. I don't know what his title was, but I was just like, does this sound like a good idea? And he was like, how many business cards do you have on you right now? I was like, 20. He was like, give me all 20 of them. I was like, okay, all right. So little things like that, being open to just putting yourself out there to these individuals that are at this event can pay off tremendously for your business. The worst thing that someone can say at this event or at any other event is, nah, I'm not really interested, dude. It's not that bad. Go out there, be comfortable talking about what you're doing, you know, network with these individuals. That's what they're there to help you do.
It sounds like that was not quite the case based on some of our conversations of people being not interested in
there was a lot of interest.
Who were some of the other individuals that you were able to interact with and just kind of
so one of the gentlemen, I'm not gonna say his name on here because he doesn't even have social media. But he is a member of the Medal of Honor Foundation. He is also tied into several other organizations, most of them in the Michigan area. And he is one of the individuals that has really taken the idea of what I'm doing here in the shop and sprinted with it. I met him that very first night. He didn't know who I was. I just kind of, threw an idea out there based on some people that he knew, and he was like, wait, hold on. What do you do? Like, what? Give me your elevator pitch, man. So I did. I started showing him pictures of the rings and stuff on my phone. He was like, give me 2 minutes. I got to make some text messages. And like 10 minutes later, he was like, I just texted this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. They're all in. They all want to work with you and do rings and stuff with you. Like, we'll talk more about them later. And I was like, wow. All right, first night. That was pretty crazy. I actually had like 4 phone calls with him yesterday about different projects that we're kind of working on. A couple other individuals, James Dixon, he's a motivational speaker. He is an amputee, and he works in addition to being a motivational speaker, he also kind of teaches people how to use their prosthetics, specifically with working out and like, going to the gym and stuff like that, just being able to move better and more efficiently with a prosthetic versus, when you had all of your limbs and everything, your muscles are engaged differently than when you introduce a prosthetic into it, and that can be very bad for your physical health. So he goes through and teaches people how to move more efficiently with a prosthetic. Another individual that I was introduced to was Nick Lavery, who Green Beret.
I know Nick. I was in the unit with him.
Yeah, lost his right leg.
Fucking anomaly in the Matrix, man.
Yeah, lost his right leg in Afghanistan. Almost died, like legitimately almost died on the aircraft back. He gets, they fully amputate his leg. They get the prosthetic back on him, and he, to my knowledge, he is the only Green Beret amputee above the knee amputee to go back out into combat and continue to do deployments. Like, that guy is wild. He's also a very intimidating man.
He's gigantic.
Yeah, he's
larger than life. Is like that. That's him. Yeah, that was actually his third injury on that rotation. He refused to leave, and then it was an insider attack. And he went on after his amputee. He went to dive school. He went to Special Forces dive school as well. His
Yeah.
book is phenomenal.
I got a copy of his book while we were there. Yeah. I know I had met at least one other person, and I'm drawing a blank, and now I feel like a jerk.
That's all right. We're all used to you being a jerk.
They'll be sure
Yeah,
to call
it's
you
fine.
out on it.
They will. When they see this, they're going to leave a comment.
Yeah, when they see the
that
comments,
says,
like,
hey,
dude.
what about me? Jerk. Which will be vastly different from most of our jerk comments.
Yeah, that's
It's usually
true.
just me being called a jerk. The one
well,
person that's still
I
active
think-
duty. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, that's weird. Why did they call you a jerk, but not either? Like, Nick's the biggest jerk out of all of us.
I think they feel as though I'm a supply specialist that only did one turn.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
That's
see?
right.
That's what happens when you have boobs.
I receive all the hate on all the social media posts about our jokes that we find funny.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like most
Yeah,
of that is
makes
geared
sense.
towards me. For whatever reason, I feel like they give you a pass. I don't know. Why might that be? Insurrection Daddy.
He's the face.
He's the face. Fucking face.
Oh, God.
So what is next, James? How long before you forget about us little folk is really what we want to know.
That,
So, like, what is the point? I know that probably sounds harsher than it is, but what is the point behind Warrior Rising? Is it just to be able to go to one of these showers and get grant money? Is it for them to advocate your business and basically blow you up? What's the end result and goal?
and I will mostly speak from my experience, because after the event, I have been very adamant about communicating with everybody that was, involved in this event. So I would assume if you want to just, go through these modules, get more comfortable with running your business, go to a business shower and get the experience there, and then walk away and never, discuss or be, involved with Warrior Rising again, you have that opportunity. What
Do
they
you have
are,
to do the pitch competition to attend the business shower?
the pitch competition is, or no. So to attend the business shower as a guest or a vendor, that's a question for the Warrior Rising individuals, because they do have attendees there who show up for the very last night when they announce the winner. But going through the modules and the courses and all that stuff, you're going through to attend a business shower is the end goal. But
to do your pitch.
Yes, to be a competitor in the pitch. But when you leave, like for me specifically, when I stepped off the stage and they said, "Hey, you finished second place," and I was like, I can't even believe I finished second. Like, they announced third place, and I said I didn't even crack top 5. Like, third place was an AI type company that was way larger than I was, and revenue streams are way higher than I was. And when Jason was like, "All right, second place, Legier's Woodshop," I was like, "What? Me?" And so I step off stage, I'm shaking everybody's hand. I shake Jason's hand last, and he goes, "I hope you know we're not done." And I was like, "Oh, buddy, strap in, because it's about to be a wild ride." And it has not stopped since I left. Oh, I didn't hear what you said, Amanda.
Because she's muted.
I said that was strap in, not strap on. Different kind of wild ride.
As soon as I said that, I saw just a glimmer, and I was like, "Don't you do it, Amanda."
I did it.
Now, if you so choose, when you finish these Warrior Rising events, you're essentially considered like an alumni member of the group. You have as a pitch competitor, you get 6 months of coaching from one of the mentors within Warrior Rising, and you can go through and apply to be a coach for Warrior Rising on their website as well. I don't know if you have to have been a pitch competitor to be able to do that, or if just anybody can go through and meet a certain criteria. So don't quote me on all that. But you finish it, you get 6 months of coaching from a Warrior Rising member. They'll usually come through and ask you, what do you need help with? Do you need help, working on the website? Do you need help with SEOs? Do you need help with this and that? And for me, I needed help with a website. So I'm going through right now, and it actually worked out perfectly, because we've been talking about rebranding and doing a new logo and changing the name a little bit. So I was like, what better time to do all of this than, when I can work with these guys to professionally get my website done. But as you leave these events and Warrior Rising's going through and posting your stuff and sharing your stuff and getting your name out there and everything, what I've already had happen for me is 2 future attendees for pitches reach out and say, hey, do you have time for, a meeting in the next couple of days where I can show you my pitch and you can look through it and kind of give me some advice and, talk to me about what it was like going through the pitch and, what you expected, what you didn't expect, what worked, what didn't work, that sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, that's the easiest way to go about doing this and actually grow, veteran entrepreneurs in America, which is, Warrior Rising's main mission, is to continue to grow, that pool of veterans.
So what is next up for you with this? What is kind of the one thing that you are focused on at the moment that came out of that?
So one of the Warrior Rising specific things that is on the horizon is the Army-Navy ring for the Army-Navy game. And after the fact, I just got done talking to Jason about it about an hour ago. April of next year, every senior on the Army football team will get an Army-themed ring, like a West Point granite ring that I make as a graduation gift. And we're going to try to do that for every graduating class of Army football seniors going forward.
How many rings in a batch? How many rings is that for you?
I don't know yet. I gotta talk details with him about that. Let's see. So actually, at the event, one of the gentlemen who works for Warrior Rising, Casey Maxted, walks up to me and he goes, "Hey man," he was like, "it's good to finally meet you in person. Like, I've been looking at your stuff for the past 6 months. This is awesome." He said, "Hey, what are you doing next June?" I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, nothing." And he was like, "Cool, you want to go to France with us?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll go to France with you guys." And he was like, "Yeah, it's for the 81st anniversary of D-Day." And I went, I put 2 and 2 together, I figured. And he was like, cool. Also, we're going to have members of Warrior Rising and some other individuals doing a jump into Normandy during this event. It's like, I want you to make a ring for every single individual that's doing this jump. And I was like, oh, cool, man. He's like, yeah, what are you thinking for a design idea? I was like, oh. I said, well, I've got sand from 3 of the 5 landing zones from the D-Day invasion. I said, I bet I can find sand from the other 2 landing zones, and I'll mix all of that together. I'll put it into one band. So every member next year who does the jump into Normandy will get a ring with all 5 landing zone sands in that ring. So it's like a true Normandy invasion style ring. I'm actually wearing it right now, the prototype, if you will. But what we're also doing is every member who gets a ring is basically going to name, a World War II veteran that they know or they've heard of or whatever, that they mean something to them, and that veteran's name is going to be engraved on the inside inside of the band. I have a lot of potential things coming up with the state of Michigan. Just based on my one contact that I made that first night.
Now you're just going to need to get some old parachutes to make something to
Yeah.
put the ring actually in for it.
Yeah.
I was just in France too. I could have made a.
I know. I should have had
tour.
you. I should have had you grab stuff.
Should have had me grab stuff.
I will also drop a potential teaser, but I won't explain anything in depth. There is a potential opportunity to do a lot of stuff with not only the Medal of Honor Foundation as a foundation, but individual living recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's all I can say about that.
Well, we are very, very proud of you, James, and all that you are doing, coming from a little rinky-dink hole in a garage, in a small corner of a garage.
I didn't even have the whole garage. I just had...
I know. Just a corner, literally. No, it's a lot of exciting stuff.
To answer one thing that you said earlier, though, I'm not forgetting about anybody. I'll say the same thing I said to Nick, I think a couple years ago, is everybody gets a seat at the table. You just got to wait for me to build it. If I'm growing, I'm bringing everybody with me, because I do not get to this point where I'm at right now or anywhere, you know, going forward in the future without the people who have been in my corner since day one, like you two.
We paid him to say that. No, but so with you potentially changing the logo, though, that does mean that the next package that I have for you is going to have to be delayed, because I did everything with your current logo.
Shit.
Those get handed out as legacy gifts.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah,
We'll
those
just
will
have
be the OG
maybe
ones.
I'll just, because it's all small things. So I took the promotional stuff and did like one of the wallet things for your phone.
Oh yeah.
With your logo on it, and a keychain,
that's super cool.
and like a couple of other little things. And now I gotta redo them all. So now I'm gonna have to like shadow box those, send those to you. You're really making a lot of extra
Hang
work.
those up in the shop.
Kind of,
I know a guy that can make the shadow box.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna hide a dick in it.
Dave Miller.
I don't think he makes boxes.
No.
You know what we need to do in the back of the shadow box? Like just the slightly off color dick. So it's like white and off
Yeah, I
white.
figured that was
Like
coming.
What is that?
You only see it when you look away, and when you look
Yes.
back, it's not.
You're like,
Exactly. Like
I could have sworn I just saw it.
Damn it, they
right
did
there.
it. one of our MO. That's how you know it's authentic. That's how you know it's authentic
Yeah.
terminal rank. There is a hidden dick because we are children.
I got to go back and look at all of the shirts you have sent me now.
That would have been great.
I did.
Damn it! Like
When I
hidden
opened
in the
up-
logo, hidden in your logo
Yeah.
at Warrior Rising while you're there wearing your take on a shirt.
Oh, everybody there would have gotten a huge kick. I told them about the artwork on the wall
Damn it!
in my shop, and they were like, what? I was like, yeah, it's just what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah, when I got the coffee mugs, I opened up the box, and Ashley walked over, and she was like, did they send you more shirts? I was like, they sent me more shirts. She was like, we have so many shirts in the closet right now.
It's not that many shirts,
It's like 14.
is it?
More shirts than I have.
It's a lot.
Please stop sending you
Well,
stuff.
I mean, I've only paid for like 3 or 4 of those 14, but there's like 14 of them in there.
Yeah, but like there's like logo shirt, there's your
Yeah.
shirts, there's
I do like the bigger Yellowbird logo shirt.
Yeah.
It's very eye-catching to people.
yeah.
Yeah, small one, people are just like, why does that guy have a bird on his shirt? That's weird. And the larger one, people take a bit longer of a look, and they see the text underneath. They're like, oh,
The hell I
now
get
that
it.
song's stuck in my head.
Yeah, good. That's what we aim to do. Songs and dicks in your head.
Oh, there's the new company motto.
So normally we do a hot topic, but I think today, in honor of your Warrior Rising, we should probably switch it up a little bit. So it is going to be the top
Oh, God.
3 reasons we like the military, and the top 3 reasons we couldn't wait for a DD. James,
don't even
you're
have
the
yours
guest of
yet.
honor, so have at it on the spot, man.
Oh man, top 3. I mean, the first one, it was easy, man. Like, it was so simple. Yes, you had to deal with some dumb crap on the side, which will probably be one of my 3 negatives. But at the end of the day, wake up in the morning, you go do PT. They keep you in shape as long as you're doing PT. You wear the same outfit every day. Same thing, just making sure your rank and your name tapes are on the right side and all that. The job is not that difficult. They train you to do all of it correctly, so if you screw it up, it's probably your fault. The military is really Barney-proof, man. Or really idiot-proof. It's Barney style, dude. For me, the biggest thing was the community. I loved that military community and that sense of purpose that you had while you were in. And so often we have people get out, and that's the first 2 things they say. Like, I miss the community, and I miss feeling like I'm doing something with my life. And having that thought process can lead down a pretty bad path unless you got a good group of people around you. Dislikes, toxic leadership. Oh shit, Amanda's here. Crap.
I was gonna say she's sitting right there.
No, toxic leadership, definitely the biggest one. That'll send more soldiers out of the military than any annual training. Annual training's the worst, especially when annual training turns into weekly training, and you can't even do your job because you're like, oh, I got to do this again. I did it 2 weeks ago. I promise you, I'm super qualified on my weapon at this point. I think that the one thing that I hate the most about the military is the thing that got me out of the military, which was I submitted all my paperwork and repeatedly checked in with people over the course of 8 months to go like, hey, it's moving through the system, right? And they're like, it sure is, buddy. And with 28 days left in the Army, I got a phone call that said, hey, so HR just got your packet today. They said that they're not going to approve it. And I just went, okay. And they're like, you can get out or you can re-enlist for 3 more years and go somewhere else. And I was like, deuces. I'm an intel guy. I already have a job outside of the military.
Nick, so. You did the full 20. How about you?
A lot of the same for as far as the staying in part. A lot of the same as what James said. They gave you everything you needed. They told you where to be. They told you when to be there. It really isn't hard. Obviously there's the pride of serving. I think that probably goes a long way. Like, for as stupid as a lot of stuff is, I forget what the actual numbers are, but what is it, like some small percentage of U.S. population are the ones that actually serve. So it's kind of a small band of people. Steady pay, yeah, introduced. I mean, when I first looked at joining or thought about joining, or maybe right after I did join, my brother, my oldest brother who had been in the Navy, he was like, look, man, you got the world in the palm of your hand. You can pretty much do whatever you want, right? And of course I was a be-all-you-could-be baby, right? And but it was a good slogan. It was a good motto. Like, it's true. Like, you can get wherever you want to go if you put in the effort. I mean, I joined as a E2 and retired as a warrant officer. Like that, I could have gone, regular officer. Like, there are all sorts of opportunities that are available. It's on you how much effort you put into getting to those opportunities. So yeah, a lot. That would be all the good. The bad, probably my biggest one. Of course, there's the leadership. There's all the other shit. But my big thing was only in specific assignments can you homestead, which I understand, right? You can't have everybody just go to one assignment and stay there forever, because then knowledge doesn't proliferate. But there are certain people that are motivated by staying where they're at and being the best that they are at what they are, and you get that continual knowledge base, right? That continuity. Like, I was getting looked at for a promotion. Shit, it would have been right after my actual retirement date, but all I saw was that's like 5 or 6 more years to even consider getting looked at, which is going to be at least 1 or 2 more PCS moves. I don't have it in me anymore. I just don't want to. Now, granted, I got the whole family thing late in my career, but really at that point it was like, I don't want to move my family around a whole bunch, and I don't want to go do hardship tours. Like, I have no interest in it. So that was probably my biggest motivator to want to part ways.
All right, I'm the lone person still in. You hear that, dirtbags? The lone person still in.
Are you though? Because you seem to be on here a lot.
3 of us. Well, I'm a warrant officer, so I'm still that.
Did you hit your terminal rank and still have like 7 more years before you can retire?
I dropped paperwork in 1 year. Thank you very much. There. I did join a little older than everyone else. I was 26 when I joined, so I was post.
God damn.
I was 25 when I joined. So I was out of college, came in, had a college degree, joined as a specialist. The military ended up being not what I thought it was going to be. If you would have asked in college if I would have even considered joining the military, I would have told you, fuck no. And if you would have asked if I did join the military, if I would do 20 years, I would have told you to share whatever it was that you were high on with me, because there was just no way. I thought it was going to be this super right-wing, ultra-conservative, everyone's from like Podunk Town, like join the military because they had no other options group of people, and that is not what I found after I joined.
And that's why I got out.
It was exactly, people like me were joining and people like you were leaving, so
Oh gosh.
No, so that wasn't what it was like at all. So for me, the top three things are obviously the camaraderie. I think that it doesn't matter if you are the person that I described, that I thought the military was going to be, who, someone from a small town that just always knew they were going to join the military, or the flip side, like there's still a camaraderie between everyone that just doesn't really go away years after the fact. I mean, there's people that have served one term, and when they find out you're in the military, it is a conversation starter. There is just always this sense of kind of looking out for each other, whether you served with them or you didn't. There's almost this immediate. The second thing, our stories are way better. I gotta tell you, like, anyone that has ever sat with a group of veterans and listened to them tell stories and really heard some of your own stories played back, like, oh shit, yeah, that's right, I lived in Korea, I was over here, I did this, the stories are just better. I mean, even the lamest story in the military is usually better than the stories of, Karen 3 cubicles down that's wild and crazy and wears her crazy tie every Friday. Woohoo! She left her coffee on top of her car and drove off this morning. Oh, crazy Karen, there's none of that. Our stories truly are a bit more interesting. I think anybody would be hard pressed to deny that one. Number 3 is, and it kind of hits on, Nick, on what you were saying earlier about opportunity. The opportunities really are endless. Like I said, I enlisted after receiving a 4-year degree, thinking I was going to do my time and get out, and here I am almost 20 years later as a warrant officer. But yeah, you don't like your MOS? Okay, get a different MOS. You decide you want to get out and come back in. People do that all the time. I get a wild hair and decide, hey, I want to become a pilot. Okay, go be a pilot. You just follow the process, and you can really learn any skill that you want to learn. You can go to school for anything that you want to go to school for. People have gotten in, come back out, gotten in, and just completely changed things. If you look at the lifestyle of your average person in the military and compare it to the lifestyle of a civilian the same age that maybe took a more traditional path, all jokes aside, the person in the military usually has fewer bills, the better car, the overall lifestyle for the most part. So those are kind of my top 3 reasons. Top 3 reasons to get out. Big part of it does become family. Nick, I'm a lot like you, where we didn't have families until later on in our careers, so didn't have to really worry until later on in our careers about my spouse's job and uprooting your kids and things like that. So I don't think I would have stayed in as long if I would have had children my first 5 years of service versus my last 5 years of service. So yeah, that absolutely is a big thing. The second is, dealing with a lot of just kind of the daily stupidity of death by 1,000 paper cuts. You're so busy trying to focus on your job, but then there's a million other little nitnoid things that you're getting pulled for that take you away from that. And those are really, to me, the big stressors. It's the stupid, oh crap, why is my account not working? Oh, because you've got to go do your cyber awareness. Hey, I need to get this signed. Okay, well, you have to go over here to get it signed. But they only work between the hours of 4 and 4:45. So if you miss it, it's a lot of those little things. It's a lot of the circular arguments that you get into. So, but Death by 1,000 paper cuts is my number 2. And number 3 is the flexibility that we just don't always have. I will say leaders have gotten a lot better when it comes to, hey, I have this family issue, I need to leave, go home and take care of parents and stuff. They're usually pretty willing to let you use your leave to do those types of things, but still there's times where it's like, hey, I just, from Florida, not being able to, hey, I'm leaving next week to to go home and help my family, like, get things back together. I'm sure if I asked, it wouldn't have been an issue. But then I've got to spend, $6,000 to fly home and back and all of those things. So really just not being able to always live where you want to and having those additional costs of constantly moving, movers breaking things, not being able to have the kids hang out with grandparents because you don't really get to pick where you live. So those are kind of my top 3.
Oh, and right on cue.
And this guy,
Choco Taco.
my little Choco Taco. So for those that don't know, I am in fact half black. Shocker. I know, many of you were wondering, is she Indian? Does she just have a great tan? She's something. Some of you were like, she's some kind of minority that I know I don't like. I just don't know what derogatory thing to say to her. So I'm really glad
I'm still working and figuring it out myself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm going to help you guys out. My dad is black and my mother is white, making me black-white biracial. That's a thing. And this little guy, his dad is white. He has the same dad as his sibling with me. But as you can see, he too suffers from racial ambiguity. But when he was born, even though he is part black, he looks more Hispanic. And so, my super white husband decided to refer to him as our Choco Taco.
Yeah, it's Holden.
Yep, it's Holden, my Choco Taco. So yes, now you all know. Feel free to do what you will in the comments with that. And no, I'm not by douchebags.
That's my baby foot.
That's your baby foot.
And this is my baby toe.
Yes, and those are important things. Those are important features. He has all of his toes, even though I'm vaccinated.
I have that toe.
Hold in. Are you going to come to the birthday party in a couple weeks? Olympic events at the beach or something.
Good God.
It's
All
very
right.
shiny.
Be a lot of dancing out there.
These are all my
All right.
baby.
Yeah, bring your cup.
These are my baby fingers. And this is my dad's
And
toe.
herein, you can also cue the comments on why women shouldn't have jobs and things because of this. But guess what? You fuckers still paid me while I was pregnant and on maternity leave. Take that.
No, Amanda is not drunk.
I'm not. I'm just salty. All right. I'm pretty sure that wraps it up. I feel like Holden has decided that we are over. We are done. Can you say bye?
Yeah.
Holden's getting his
Everybody.
15 minutes in.
He's like, go make me some dino nuggets.
Dino nuggets.
Chris is also asking for dino nuggets. Let's just be clear here.
Probably. All right.
He's got his Warhammer figurines out. He's painting them. He cannot be bothered. He needs his dino nuggets.
Ma! Dino nuggets! Now!
He started laughing at you. All right, yeah, that wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
Now we're probably just gonna make fun of each other because Nick has to go back to real work.
Where the fuck is Zach?